Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. What's happening, everybody? I'm back again, so this means I got something to talk about. I got something I want to talk about and read about. It's information you can use, I'm pretty sure. Um, I try my best. I try my best to come with some things that can make some sense in your life, um, especially to those of you that are walking on a free thinker path. A path of thinking outside the box. Certain things, man, you're gonna need to be in the know about. So, me personally, I try to do what I gotta do to continue to learn. I've been having some hell of a conversation with my brothers and sisters this week alone right here, and man, a lot of my sisters and brothers are getting it, and then a lot of them are just getting it. Meaning it ain't looking so good for a lot of my brothers and sisters, and hmm, wow, that's the sad part when you run across your people, man, and they just have no understanding about what's going on. Period. They too caught up into things ain't got nothing to do with them, and I'm talking about from Donald Trump's shenanigans and Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. All these names is what I'm saying. They bring up these names. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Now, some of the stuff that I see, man, um, is disturbing, man. Very disturbing. But there's nothing I can do about it personally besides stay guarded on my path over here. Um, that's it. Continue to use the little tools that I've been given and to share information to those of you that want some information. So that's what I'm here for. I'm gonna do a little talking out the dome, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of reading. And a word here. It's a word that I don't know if many of you heard this word before, but the word is allodial. Allodial law, as a matter of fact. Many people love to boast, and the last guy that I studied with, stay out there in Lakeland, Florida, used to love to boast about, yeah, I own my house, and my house is paid for, and all that other crap. And hey, again, that's why it pays to stay humble, man. Um, even for you, yeah, cause I still have to break some of them bad habits of talking about what I got and what I own. And man, you know what? Enough of the shenanigans. What I do have is within me. What's within me is my memories and my peace. Um, my health is coming together. Everything. So I own that. But anything outside me, family, I don't own. I don't own anything, because guess what? The minute the spirit leaves me, it no longer belongs to me. I'm no longer a part of. Let that sink in. But this word allodial, and it's a real word. The spelling is Allodial. Allodial. Look it up on your own if you want to. But what allodial law actually is, allodial comes from the medieval term allodium. It simply meant land owned outright, free of feudal duties to a lord, and that's it. Historical context: feudal Europe, under feudal systems, the king technically, all right, listen to this, the king technically owned all land. Lords held land from the king. and knights and vassals held land from lords. So, and here's the big picture here. Peasants worked it. Peasants. You know what a peasant is. So most land was held in tenure, meaning you owned it. I mean, I'm sorry, you owed. That's what it. That's what this means. Most land was held in tenure, meaning you owed military service. You got to pay for that. Got to pay your taxes. You got to pay for labor. But allodial land meant no lord above you or no feudal obligations, full ownership, and that's where the term comes from. Period. What happened in this U.S.? Here's where confusion begins, family, in the United States. After independence, feudal tenure systems were abolished. Land ownership became fee simple absolute. Fee simple absolute is the highest form of private ownership in U.S. law. It means you can sell it, you can will it, you can build on it within zoning, that is, and it passes to heirs, to your love down the bloodline. But you still owe property taxes, eminent domain compliance, police power regulations, zoning laws, and this is not federal control, it's just constitutional governance. So the big misunderstanding some modern movements claim is you can convert your property into a allodial title and be free from taxes and government authority. And that's just it's not the truth. In almost every state, and that is not legally accurate. Why? Because the government retains sovereign authority. Period. Point blank. Property taxes are constitutional at the state level. Eminent domain is embedded in U.S. law. So even if you pay off your mortgage, as my man in Lakeland, Florida used to say, that does not make your land allodial in the medieval sense. It just means you don't owe a bank. Point blank, period. Where the myth expands and claims like file certain paperwork to declare allodial title or convert to land patent status or exit the property tax system or claim superior title over the state. These theories mix historical land patents or sovereignty ideology or misapplied constitutional language in which courts have repeatedly, and I repeat this, courts have repeatedly rejected those arguments. Is a allodial title ever real in the U.S.? That's the question. Nevada once had a limited statutory allodial title program early in the 2000s, they're saying, but even that did not remove government authority. Required a large lump sum, a payment, and still recognized state power, and it was eventually discontinued, and that was in Nevada. So, no U.S. state currently allows true medieval style allodial sovereignty over your own land, man. From the bottom line, allodial law today is mostly a historical term, a legal theory misapplied in modern context, a concept heavily used in sovereign citizen circles, and many people still like to go around boasting and bragging about owning their own home. Modern U.S. property ownership equals fee simple under state sovereignty, not feudal, not tax-free, not immune from law. The reality of owning property in the U.S. is when someone says, "I own my house," legally what they usually mean is The mortgage is paid off again. Okay, the whole fee simple title. They hold the fee simple title. The deed is in their name, and that is the strongest of ownership. But it is not absolute sovereignty because you still got to pay property taxes, and if you stop paying them, the county can lien and eventually foreclose on your so-called ownership of your home. Period. Try to stop paying taxes if you want to. So land is not outside state authority. And eminent domain, the government can take the property for public use with compensation. So ownership is protected but not absolute. Police power, zoning laws, building codes, environmental regulations. You cannot build a refinery in a residential neighborhood just because you own it. Just like my mama place. My mama got a home, but um, we had to get permission, man, to dig in the back of her house. We had to get permission to dig a hole in the yard. So asset seizure in certain legal situations, properties can be seized. Again, not absolute. Um, you don't own it in a allodial sense, meaning there's still a sovereign authority above your title, and that's accurate. So modern property is private ownership under sovereign jurisdiction, not medieval allodial autonomy. Same with cars. Okay, and this here's something we need to really understand on this one here. It's the same with cars. People say I own my car, right? I say it often. I got two cars. I got this. I got that. I own my car, but it must be registered. Listen at this. It must be insured. It can be impounded. It can be seized, and it requires a license to operate. Facts. So again, possession with regulatory overlay. The true language is this: you hold fee simple title, but not allodial title. The state retains sovereignty authority through taxation in eminent domain. And here's the deeper philosophical layer. In modern nation states, absolute land sovereignty exists only at the level of the state itself. Individuals hold rights, states hold sovereignty, not because of conspiracy, but because of constitutional structure. Now let's get off into this other thing. This is a big one: certificates, birth certificates, marriage, certificates. Let's get off into this. A certificate as proof of record, which is administrative documents. These include things like birth certificate, marriage certificate, title certificate, stock certificate, vehicle certificate of title, and so on and so forth. These are not the thing itself. They are evidence that a record exists in a registry. Example: a birth certificate is not your life. It's a certified copy of a record that a birth event was registered. A vehicle title certificate is not the car. It's proof that the state's database recognizes you as the titled owner. A stock certificate is not the company. It's proof you hold shares recorded on a ledger. A certificate equals certified extract of a registry entry. That's it. Certificates as financial instruments. Now we go into where things get misunderstood at. And here's a couple of examples here. Certificates of deposit, which is the CDs. You know how people got CDs? I had CDs going on, but the thing I didn't like about the CD is you put $10,000 in a CD, buddy, and there's a certain time that thing had to sit there. You can't touch it at all, and whether it's a year or two or whatever, if an emergency come up, you cannot touch it, or you will be penalized by getting charged a hefty little fine to get your money out of that CD. Mortgage-backed certificates, trust certificates, bond certificates. These kind of certificates represent financial claims. They are contractual instruments tied to value, debt, or interest. But again, the certificate represents a claim. It is not magical value creation. Certificates and its sovereign strawman theories. This is where confusion spreads. There are claims that a birth certificate, for instance, creates a secret corporate entity. The government trades your birth certificate on stock markets. There's a hidden treasury account attached to your name. You can redeem the certificate for millions. These claims sound powerful, but courts have repeatedly rejected these claims. There is no verified evidence of individuals accessing hidden treasury accounts through birth certificates, or the birth certificate functions as a vital statistics record, not a bond instrument you can cash out. I don't know if there's proof or not. I'm just actually going on what I haven't seen. I've searched for it. I ain't seen nothing. I haven't gotten any proof from anywhere saying that someone has cashed in on their birth certificate or any of these claims here. What a certificate actually is in law, a certificate, family, is a document issued by an authority certifying that a fact is recorded in an official register. That's it. It's administrative confirmation, and that's it. No, not ownership of your soul, not a hidden bond, not a secret trust, and legal person versus living being, corporate identity versus natural identity, EIN versus SSN, employee identification number versus your social security number, trust structuring, registry systems. If that's the direction that people be going in, man, then they need to explore a lot more than hearsay from some YouTube channels, man, and TikTok videos. I want to go into this next one, the straw man. The real legal meaning of straw man. In traditional law, a straw man is simply a person used as a front or placeholder in a transaction. For example, someone temporarily holds property for another person to avoid publicity. That's it. It's a procedural device. It does not mean hidden secret identity. The sovereign citizen straw man theory. This is where things get layered. The theory claims when you are born, the government creates a separate corporate entity in all caps. That's not a, let me tell you something, that's not a made up thing. That's a fact. All of our names are in caps. And if you don't think I'm lying, let me take a piece of mail here. Yeah, all caps. Everything in all caps. Your mail, your name, all caps. Even your birth certificate, your social security card, your driver's license, all caps. So let's see what this is going to say. When you are born, the government creates a separate corporate entity in all caps. That corporate entity is a trust or bond. The birth certificate is a financial instrument. The government trades that entity. Your SSN connects to a secret treasury account. If you reclaim it, you can access funds and escape jurisdiction. This theory became popular in the 70s and 90s. in certain anti-tax and redemption circles. It sounds sophisticated because it mixes real legal terms and real financial language, real trust law vocabulary, but it combines them in ways that don't align with how courts and financial systems actually function. See, it's about legalese terms. It's about wording, how you deal with words, how you deal within this system that they got set up that we don't know how to play in. You dig what I'm saying? We just existing in it and we just going with the flow of things. So what is actually true is here's the ground of truth. When you are born, a record is created. That record is entered into a state registry. That record allows the government to track population statistics, issue ID documents, assign benefits, enforce laws, collect taxes later. It creates a legal identity record. Yes, but that does not mean there is a hidden corporate bank account in your name. And they're trying to say the all caps name thing. That's formatting style in administrative documents. It's not a secret corporation. However they want to word it, you got common sense. Use your common sense. Is the part that is intellectually interesting. There's a difference between natural person, a living human being, or let me say a living human, because the resource one just last week I was checking out human being and they're like, no, that's two different words, human and then there's being. And jurisdictional person, a legal entity recognized by law. So corporations are juridical. Let me pronounce this word. Juridical. That's how you pronounce it. Juridical. Juridical person. A legal entity recognized by law. Corporations are juridical persons. Trusts can be juridical persons. LLCs are juridical persons. You, as a human, operate within a legal system that recognizes you as a legal person for purpose of contracts, taxes, property ownership, etc. That doesn't mean you're fictional. It means the law needs a structured identity category to function. That's what some people leap into. I am not the legal person, but in practice, courts treat you and your legal identity as one integrated subject. Why the straw man theory persists? Because it feels empowering. It suggests hidden value, hidden control, a way out of taxation, a way out of jurisdiction. And when people feel overregulated or economically squeezed, that narrative becomes attractive. But no court has ever upheld a straw man redemption claim. Not even one. And here's the clean separation, the real. Legal personhood exists. Registries exist. Administration identity exists. Corporations are separate legal persons. Trusts are legal structures. Where to use your own common sense at, family? Secret treasury accounts per birth certificate. Capital letter name equals corporation. Filing UCC forms frees you from taxes. Returning the certificate unlocks funds, or it's a fight on your hand if that's the rabbit hole you want to go down. And that is a fact. You're going to be a fighting soul trying to prove anything otherwise. Because it's something, family. It is really something, man. When you've been told certain things all your damn life, man, and then you get up at a certain age and all of a sudden, voila, man. The real thing is people are focusing, zoned in on the wrong stuff, man. I overstand. I understand for real what a lot of people are feeling emotionally when it come down to being free from this whole setup they got going on out here. And I say they, I mean in the power that be, man. But here's the truth, family. You cannot beat the system. Ain't no um ain't no beating the system, man. What you can do is learn how to play the game, man. That's it. That's all we can do. Be the best player in the game. Um, that's where I'm at. I can't speak for nobody else. All I know is um, I got a buddy, man. He tried to um, help out a relative or something, man, trying to let the person not be on the streets or whatever. And this person comes in and what turned into a few days, week or two, turned into actually 2 months now, and it's getting worse. Because this individual come with the small baby, newborn baby. You got the boyfriend or whatever, and then they taking their money and doing more foolish things with it because the mind is broke, and that's just what's going on. Meanwhile, nobody's paying attention to um, a lot of the stuff going on out here. Stuff like um, erectile dysfunction for males. Um, Sisters aren't getting pregnant. You know, I don't see a lot of babies being born for real. Um, Prostate going on amongst the male population. There's no color behind that. I just was going through that a few years ago, and to this very day right now, I'm gonna say I'm like 90% from 100, but I was at a 50-50 at some point, man. So I know exactly what's going on, and that's a thing. See what I'm saying? A lot of things that we're going through, our brothers and sisters, they so interested in more so at being right and staying divided that they will never be able to get certain information because first of all they don't have the attention span to sit still and listen to someone like me. Cause you know what? I don't come bearing gossip. I come with some real stuff, man. I'm one of them hidden dudes, man, that you you it's safe to say if you want something that's gonna make a little just gonna spark you, then you have to sit through one of these kind of sessions, family. You're gonna have to. I do the same thing when I see people that they're not all that interesting when it come down to gossip. But when it come down to what I need to have for my soul, family, you got me. So that's where I'm at, man. I go looking for the most boringest um, so-called individuals, and that's where them gems be. That's where them hidden gems are. The nuggets, little nuggets, big nuggets. Either way, I get the necessary information that I need, and I keep it moving. And then what I do is I do my due diligence on it, researched it, with a fine comb, you know what I'm saying, and I go through it. And I got good discernment. The good thing about me, I'm just speaking for me, I did not graduate from this school system. I said that's a good thing, you feel me? I did not graduate from the system of this school. So I don't have a whole lot to unlearn. I just got a lot of unlearning to do though. So for the rest of my breathing days, I will be continue to um, update my conscious, my data. So that's it, fam. That's all I got, man. Spoke about the allodial law and certificates and the straw man. Hopefully you get something out this deal, man. Enjoy your life. Find your purpose and get busy, family. Alright? Shalom. A shell.